again. If you're here for the second time tonight, welcome back. But this is going to be the more, as the title probably prompted you, the more wacky tactics idea I've had from the new Seraphon Battletome for Age of Sigmar. So, as you can see on the picture here, we're going to talk about the Bastiladon. And, you might be wondering, well Bastiladon's already kind of crazy on its own. What could you possibly think of? So, it's the Bastiladon, and it involves a little known thing called the Realm Shaper engine, and it's our new big terrain piece. It lets us garrison in it, and you might think, oh well, yes, you can garrison two Bastiladons in it as long as you're not Thunder Lizard. It's like, okay, yeah. So, what's the big deal about that? Well, this might be FAQ, but I poured over every FAQ and current designer's commentary I could find, trying to just see if this is the case. So, with the rules for the Realm Shaper engine, as they are written now, it's very similar to the Bone Reaper terrain piece. It's a little tiny bit worse, but it's placed before any other terrain, and you can have it. You just have to have it not 6 inches away from a board edge and 6 inches away from an objective. Okay, no problem. But what's interesting comes in is the fact that it can be garrisoned. So here's the thing with garrisoning. It says in the garrison rules that if you have a terrain piece that can be garrisoned that's wholly within your territory, you can deploy into it. You can start the game in it. And so many many territories in the missions are actually beyond where you can deploy. Often you get half the table and it says you have to deploy 9 inches away from enemy territory or 12 inches away from enemy territory. But since the thing can be anywhere you want, you can put it in that no man's land, and then what's to stop you from just saying, hey, I'm deploying my two Bastiladons into that terrain piece that's now 9 inches closer to you. I present to you guys the Bastiladon Cannon Rush, if you are familiar with StarCraft at all. But this has to be probably a FAQ. It's like, well, monsters can't garrison, can they? Garrison doesn't say anything about monsters not being able to do it. I have to imagine that they'll alliterate more now that dwarves garrison, we garrison, because those rules were so niche before. But, nothing stops this from being a thing right now. So if you wanted to really, potentially BS your opponent a little bit, be like, oh yeah, my thing's in the middle of the table, still wholly within my territory though. I'm going to deploy my Bastiladons in it. Your opponent's like, what? Oh yeah, my 24-inch range, nigh unkillable dinosaurs are starting in there. They're going to laser beam you down from there. And by the way, because they are Bastiladons and they're garrisoned, they're technically at a 0-up save right now at -1 to hit because they're in cover while garrisoned. You got Archon that's going to come in with his -3 sword or something. Oh, well, I get my 3-up save, I guess. Lol. It's or you not even just staying in it. You get that extra bit if you're more towards the middle of the table. You can step out of it during your movement phase, and it says you just gotta be within 6 inches when you step out of it. The Bastiladon has quite the oval base, so you just put the oval, the short, you put it long ways out, and so you get that extra whole bit closer to the enemy. And that sounds like almost turn one charge potential. This is silly. We got maybe 2 weeks before the FAQ comes out, and maybe they'll FAQ the main rulebook at the same time and say, monsters can't garrison. But even if it's the monster thing that gets fixed, it's still like, well, if we can garrison things that are wholly within our deployment zone, or not even deployment zone, it just said territory. Some missions this won't affect. There's like the one that has the double boxes that you can't fit in. It's not the whole side. It's very small. Your territories are very small. This won't be a problem there. But vast majority of the missions in the General's Handbook, the territory is half and half. So, and then you have to be far away. So we'll have to see. This has been my wacky tutorial. Bastiladons are good on their own without this crazy, tactic. You can give them Hand of Glory from a Skink Spellcaster to reroll their hits of 1. You can, their laser shots are still very powerful. You can make them even shoot twice in Thunder Lizard. They're still good. Mortal Wounds hurting them now is a bit of a bummer, but now they're only 220 points, so not that big a deal. They're much cheaper than they were before. I still love the Bastiladon. I have 3. I still plan to probably field 2 and try and summon the 3rd if I'm Starborn, and just have a good old time. Archosaur still sucks though. That never's gonna change. So I hope you enjoy my crazy wacky tactic video, and tune in tomorrow for one more sane one. If you wanted to, if you've only seen this video, I have a Saurus tactic where I talk about all the bonuses Sauruses can get. We'll have one similar tomorrow, and then I'll have another wacky tactic idea that I've come up with tomorrow as well. So I hope you're having a good night, and I'll see you guys then.